Okay, we're going to take number 725 and convert it into binary. So this is our number. And what we want to do is we want to find out what the biggest power of 2 is in this. And I have powers of 2 memorized up to 512. The next biggest one is 1024. Well, this is obviously smaller than 1024. So I know that there's a 512 in here. Okay, so I'm going to subtract that out. And I'm going to create my binary number down here, and that's going to be in the 512's place. Okay, when I subtract that, I get 2, 1, 3. Okay, the next step below 512 is half of that. It'd be 256. There is not a 200, I forgot to put my 1 here. There's not a 256 in the number 213, so I'm going to put a 0 there. The next place down is 128, and there is a 128 in there, so I'm going to subtract out 128. And when I do that, let me see, I'm going to get 8 and 5, 85. So there's 128. The next one is going to be 64. Well, there's a 64 in there, so I'm going to put a 1 in the 64's column, subtract out 64 and see what's left. What's left is 21. My next power of 2 is 32. There is not a 32 in the number 21, so I'm going to put a 0 for 32. My next power of 2 is 16. And there is 116 in the number 21. Let's go back up here, and 21 minus 16 is 5. So the next power of 2 is 8. There is not an 8 in the number 5, so I put a 0 there. The next power of 2 is 4. There is a 4 in the number 5, so I'm going to put a 1 there and take out the 4, and what I'm left with is the number 1. And so there is not a 2, so I put a 0 there, but there is a 1, so I put a 1 there. That's my 1's column. So the number 725 in binary is going to look like this. And we can check and make sure that we did it right. Let's go back. Let's add up these numbers. We've got a 1. We've got a 4. We've got a 16. We've got a 64. We've got 128. And we have 512. When we add these numbers up, we should get the number we started out with over here, 725. So 6 and 4 is 10, 8 and 2 is 10, that's 20, and 4 and 1 is 5. Carry my 2 up here, and I've got 2 and 1 is 3, and 6 is 9, and 2 is 11, and 1 is 12. Carry the 1, 5, 6, 7, and this number is the same as this number. So I have correctly converted that number into base 2. So as long as the numbers are reasonably small, that is to the point where you can do powers of 2 in your head, and after 512 comes 1024, that's pretty easy to do in your head. After 1024 is 2048. That's pretty easy to do. Then 4096. And then you get to the point where you have to start carrying, so it gets a little bit more complicated. So it's 8192. And then after that, I think it's going to get kind of ugly. But if you've got numbers, that are up to, the single digits in the thousands, you can probably convert easily this way.